Hi everyone, this is Deepa Patani with Allen Pharmacy and Wellness. We're at 945 West Stacy Road in Allen, Texas. And today we're talking about something very different. We're talking about COVID-related illnesses, but this is something very special because it wasn't something that we were aware of before when everything was starting, but recently there have been a lot of questions. And the last few weeks I've had at least 4 or 5 patients asking about something about this. But so without further ado, we're going to talk about so the question that I've been getting is, how is COVID-19 affecting pediatric kids, pediatrics, and young adults? So that has been the question that has been on a lot of people's mind lately, as we see things changing with COVID-19. So I thought I'd take some time today and address that. And so the first thing I want to say is for pediatric patients, it is still considered a very rare form of things. So it's not that a lot of kids are still being affected by COVID-19, and that is still holding true. So at first I wanted to kind of really calm people's nerves because people were very stressed and panicked again that maybe now kids were starting to get affected. So I want to kind of take a moment and calm people's nerves about it, that it is still considered rare. It is not affecting kids as much, and even if kids are testing positive to COVID-19, for majority of the kids, those symptoms are very, very mild. Even just a little bit of a fever or fatigue, and then in a few days they're better. It has been a very rare occurrence that some kids have had reactions and symptoms, so that it's which is similar to something that was called Kawasaki's disease. So it's not that it's causing Kawasaki's disease. I want to be clear. It's symptoms that resemble Kawasaki's disease. And what that is, it's just your body's immune response is very highly triggered. And so it's the body's inflammatory response to itself, which is causing a lot of damage. And so it's important for parents to know the signs and symptoms to look out for, because it's always good to be educated about it, but that should not be confused with panic and thinking that now kids are going to be affected just as much. So some of the symptoms that you want to be aware of are very, very high fever that lasts more than 4 or 5 days, a rash, and peeling of the skin in the hands and in the toes, and then very, very red, like bright red, like blood red eyes. So if you see some of these symptoms, then you can at least be aware, and you can take the necessary steps that you need to. But it's still important to address that it is a very rare disease that we're seeing in kids. But it's, like we said, it's better to be educated and make the proper decisions that we need to when our kids are concerned. And pretty much for young adults, it was a similar scenario. It is also an exaggerated inflammatory response of your body that probably is feeling like something foreign has entered the body, so now the body is going to try to fight it, and that's what causes the high inflammatory response rate from the body. So sometimes, when we have a cold or a flu, your body would create that kind of inflammatory response, but it's something that our body has been exposed to in things before, so it knows kind of what's going on, and it remembers how to kind of approach it. With this, with COVID-19 being so new and the coronavirus being so new, SARS too, I feel like the body just doesn't know. It's so foreign. It has never had to deal with something like this, and so the inflammatory response is very heightened for some people, and it's also causing similar reactions in young adults, and then it's also leading to a heart attack or stroke-like symptoms, which is related more to the stress that the body is feeling from having to fight the virus. But it's not rare in young adults. Actually, about 40% of the people that are being admitted to the hospitals right now are younger than 64, younger than 54 years of age. And so it's no longer true that COVID-19 is just a concern for our senior population or our elderly population, but it's also, we're seeing that as testing is more available, more and more people want to get antibody testing and whatnot, we're going to learn more that it is affecting younger adults as well. And actually 50% of the adults that are being admitted into the ICUs are below the age of 54. So we have to keep that in mind. So we cannot lag on the social distancing. We cannot lag on not wearing, your mask or gloves. I know it's not something that we all like to do. I really kind of also feel pretty suffocated myself when I have to put it on all day. But at the back of the mind, we have to remember that we're doing that to keep ourselves safe, and we're also doing it to keep other people that may come in contact with us safe. So as we start to open things up again, we have to do that civic duty towards our other friends, family, neighbors, whoever they may be, to keep them safe. One thing I really wanted to talk about was also, I had a mom who asked a question that, if the young adults are being affected, and given COVID is an upper respiratory infection, how likely would it be for her son to be, or what would her son's chances be because he vapes? And so that actually was very, very interesting to me, and I had to do a lot of research to figure that, a lot of things out, because logically it made sense that when you are smoking or vaping, you are damaging your lungs, and at a time like this, your lungs and the ability to breathe has been the major thing that's being compromised, and the reason why people are being put on ventilators. So if you haven't there is a strong causation there. We're not sure if that's correlating to the fact that it causes you to be more susceptible or not. But if if you are a smoker and vaping or vaping, your chances of not only just being infected with COVID-19, that's the same as everybody else's, but your chances of recovering as well would most likely, logically be affected. So if you need help for yourself, for your family members, for anybody that to quit smoking, please know that we at the pharmacy, at Allen Pharmacy and Wellness, we are certified by the American Lung Association to help people quit smoking. So if there's anything we can do to help along that line, why not take advantage of this time when we're all kind of socially distanced to do something positive for our health? So, and with that said, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Friday, and think about that over the weekend. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.